Hello, and welcome to Disorient, where I talk about Asian American mental health and representation. Today's video features me and markers versus a map of Asia. So our question for today is, who are Asian Americans? So Asian Americans are people who live in the US who have ancestral connections to any of these Asian countries I color in this video. These connections might be close or distant. Also, please let me know if I miss your country, ethnic group, or misspell it. I really want to get this right, but it gets really hazy at the edges. So, let's get straight to the cringy stuff. It drives me absolutely crazy when people meet me and ask, "Are you from China?" And sometimes I get Korea or Japan or whatever first comes to mind. And look, I'm going to be changing marker colors a lot during this video. There are a lot of countries in Asia, and they're not the same. Every country has a different culture, foodscape, and often multiple languages going on. Like, I can tell you about how awesome Taiwanese food is, but if you ask me about, Korean or Thai food, you're honestly better off Googling it. This is what people mean when they say that the Asian American demographic is extremely diverse and not a monolith. Because yeah, there are some general Asian values, like there are general Western values, but there are such big differences between countries' cultural values and also between individual families and individual people. So don't assume. Ask and listen. And then there's the dreaded, "So where are you from?" question. I'm always tempted to be obnoxious and answer, "Boston." But I've been too nice and end up answering with my automatic spiel. I was born in Boston and my parents are from Taiwan. So the concept at hand here is generational status. The exact definition of first generation is kind of ambiguous, so I'll go with the US Census Bureau's definition, which is first generation Asian Americans are foreign-born immigrants. Second generation Asian Americans have at least one foreign-born parent. So if you're like me, second generation, you were likely born in the US. And then third and higher generation have two native US parents. But it can often be more complicated than this. You can be born outside the US and spend your school years here, or you can move to the US in the middle of your school years and kind of spend half your schooling in the US. It's worth mentioning that second and above generation often identify more with the Asian American identity because they grow up bicultural. They have to live and deal with the interactions between Asian values and American values, which sometimes is really hard to deal with. And they do this during their critical childhood years, whereas first generation immigrants often have this pretty solid cultural grounding in their heritage culture. And the Asian American identity can be even more complicated than just the heritage country and generational status. For all my biracial and multiracial friends out there, you are also Asian American, however much or little Asian culture shows up in your life. To my friends who are adoptees, often transnational and interracial adoptees, you are also Asian American. And there's no rule saying a person can only be from one country. Both your parents might be Asian, but they might be from two different countries. And there are also many ethnic groups who identify more with their people than their country. Asian politics are complicated, and so what a person identifies as matters. And a shout out to Asians who live in other Western countries. I'm mainly going to be talking about my Asian American experience in Disorient, but I hope you might be able to relate to some things I talk about. So basically, we Asian Americans are so diverse, not just in our cultural backgrounds, but also in our socioeconomic statuses. Don't believe the model minority myth that all Asian Americans are highly educated and financially well off. It's not true, especially if you disaggregate the data by unclumping the giant group of Asian American into, say, respective heritage countries. So, to me, even across the wide range of cultural and socioeconomic backgrounds, Asian Americans share a common experience. We live with the interactions between Asian and American culture in our daily lives. Mainstream white America sees us as the model minority stereotype, and we have to deal with the repercussions of this in our daily lives, whether by internalizing it, fighting against it, or somewhere in between. We as Asian Americans are underrepresented in American media and beyond. We have been systemically silenced, but we're trying to find our voices and speak up and stand up for ourselves. And we actually have been doing this for a pretty long time. So yeah, this is who we are as Asian Americans. My metaphor is that the Asian American demographic is like hot pot. It has many different parts, each amazing in its own right, and they all hang out together to make one glorious, heartwarming whole. And now I want hot pot. So yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Disorient. Next time we'll jump right into mental health.